Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, regardless of where you are. It's always a great time to study the gospel, enlightened by Spiritism. Today, we're going to be discussing chapter 64 of the book Our Daily Bread, which is entitled To Suffer in Righteousness. Before we begin, I'd like to thank Kardec Radio for the opportunity to open up their several channels in several social media to conversations just like this one. So, let's close our eyes in this moment and connect to our spiritual benefactors. And thank for this day, this amazing day that all of us had here on earth. For some of us, the day was more pleasant, maybe more relaxed, a good time with family, with friends, with coworkers, a productive day. Maybe for some other of us, it was a tough day, a challenging day, a day in which we have to deal with difficult relationships. Regardless of how our day went, let's be thankful for another day on earth and for all the experiences and all the learning that that day is providing to us. May God's love be with us always. So again, we're going to be discussing chapter 63, I'm sorry, 64 of Our Daily Bread. So it is entitled Better to Suffer in Righteousness. It is based on 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 17. And it goes like this. It is better, if it is in God's will, to suffer for doing good than for doing evil. So the message is very clear. So to suffer for doing good, regardless of the circumstances we're in, if we're doing the right thing, even if it brings a level of discomfort for us, it is much, much better than for us to be doing wrong things. Emmanuel explains here that in order to economize financial resources that he will be compelled to abandon precipitously, the human being sometimes acquires deplorable illnesses that corrode the centers of force, causing undesirable death. So, how many of us, due to our ambitions, we spend time, we spend energy, we spend our health, again, accumulating material riches and of material riches of different shapes of forms. May those be physical assets, just like properties and monetary advantages, or may those be also um, positions in society as well. So how many of us don't get ill due to all the effort that we put in, both physically and emotionally, and also mentally as well, to acquire those physical advantages. So it's a good warning from Emmanuel in reference to that. He continues indicating that by purchasing short-lived sensations for his physical body, he commonly acquires dangerous infirmities, which accompany the vehicle in which he moves out until his last days on earth. So again, going to sensations. So how many of us are looking for sensations, are looking for exciting our senses in different manners, in experiences? And those experiences can be, again, in different shapes or forms. Um, could be, could be thrill seeking, for instance. Could be also looking for experiences of a lower moral level as well. So, how many of us might be exposed to those experiences and in the process damage the physical body and carry those problems until the day in which we disincarnate? And also remember that whatever damage we do ourselves to the physical body, it is imprinted in our perispirits. And most likely, we do take those along. We do take those marks. We do take those damages to the perispirit along with us for future reincarnations. And then we have a painful process of cleansing our perispirit of that wrongdoing. So again, all name of getting new sensations. Another one here is by getting extremely upset over insignificant lessons on the path, he poisons vital organs, thereby creating a fatal imbalance in his physical life. Another warning here. So getting extremely upset over insignificant lessons. So anything we experience on earth is momentary. The only things that we carry, that we take with us, are the love that we nurture, the love, the relationships that we nurture, and also the knowledge that we acquire. So, how many times we lose our tempers and go in give in to rage, therefore hurting others, especially our loved ones, our friends, hurting ourselves also emotionally, and poisoning our. It's interesting that Emmanuel uses the word here, poisoning vital organs. So throwing in all kinds of toxins in back into our bodies, and again, not only in our physical bodies, but also into our perispirits as well. So bringing all this negative energy to ourselves. So, and for situations that are insignificant, because everything we go through here on earth is temporary. We're just here for a very brief period of time, and may that time be a few months, may that time be 10 years, 30 years, 60 years, 100 years. It doesn't matter, because when we look at eternity, our time here is just a tiny little microscopic fraction of compared to eternity. So and so are the lessons. So are the lessons on the path. So are the different circumstances that we find ourselves in. So why get upset with those? We have to, according to the gospel, according to spiritism, we always have to take the higher road. We always need to observe those those occurrences from a higher level, from a higher spiritual level, and understand that anything, like Emmanuel puts so well here, anything that happens to us is actually a lesson. So again, instead of getting upset, getting angry, getting enraged, instead, it's important for us to rationalize and try to capture the lesson of whatever circumstance we go through in life. Emmanuel continues here, indicating that by stuffing the stomach on certain occasions, a vicious vice is established affecting important organs of the physiological instrument, thus impeding the perfect function of the carnal vessel for the simple pleasure of gluttony. So another issue as well, what we eat, what is it that we bring into our bodies? It's kind of hard for us to be watching the way we eat every day and into the different meals of the day. But it's important for us to be careful because, again, overeating is not good for us. The same thing also with undereating, and then also a huge problem is eating the wrong types of food. So everything is hurting our body. Our body, even though our body is temporary, it is a tool. So it is a tool that we need to experience and to live on earth and to learn. So it is the improper use of that tool if we let it go to waste by not paying attention to it. And this is a prime example. What we eat as well, what we bring in into our body, and what damage we could do to the chemistry and composition and structure of our body. So we gotta stay attentive to that. Emmanuel continues. Why fear facing the obstacles of a clear path of love and wisdom if the dark road of hatred and ignorance remains replete with vengeful and disturbing forces? So okay, now he's shifting back to this whole dichotomy of us having to do choices. We have free will. We can have our own choices. So is that the path that we want to do? Is that, do we want to have this attitude in our existence? And again, not only here in this particular existence on earth, but as for eternity. So is that the way we want to be as immortal souls, full of hatred and ignorance? So is that what we do and allow these vengeful and disturbing forces to inundate our existence, or should we actually go with the clear path. I like the way he mentioned here, the clear path, the lighter path, the more pleasant, the more constructive path of love and wisdom. So we do have, and again, this is our choice. I like the way that he posed it as a question because we have free will, and we can determine what the kind of attitude we have as we progress in our spiritual journey. And in continuation, how can we be afraid of fatigue and exhaustion, complications of incomprehension, conflicts, and disappointments, which are a consequence of the blessed battle for the supreme victory of righteousness? And the combat for the provisional triumph of evil conduces the combatants to tributes of afflictions and suffering. So it's kind of a mouthful, but let's break it down. So why are we afraid of fatigue? Right? We feel tired, we feel fatigue and exhaustion. So we when we try to do what's right, a lot of times we feel frustrated, we feel tired. Sometimes we feel like giving up, we feel exhausted, out of energy. We feel disenchanted, and a lot of times we question, why am I trying to do what's right? But so why should you be afraid of that, of having this fatigue and exhaustion? The complications, again, doing what's right is complicated. So I shouldn't say it's hard, but it's complicated on Earth because, again, this is just the nature of the planet. Incomprehension. When we try to do what's right, people a lot of times they don't do not understand it. And it's normal because, again, this is a world in progress. None of us here are close to perfection. As a matter of fact, we are very far from perfection. Yeah. So when we're trying to do what's right, a lot of people don't understand us, and they think that, hey, they think that, hey, this individual is not being very pragmatic because it'll be more advantageous for someone to take the wrong road, to do a lot of times to do bad actions than actually to do what's right. So that's why a lot of us, when we try to do what's right, we feel that nobody understands us. Conflict and disappointments. Yeah, there are conflicts because first of all, to start are the conflicts inside of ourselves because we are learning. We're not perfect yet. So our tendencies, they point us to, not always, most of the times they do not point us to do what's right. So there's this internal conflict. And also there are internal conflicts with others because a lot of others might not understand our our path and our choices as well, which again are based on what's right. And of course, we do feel disappointment. We do feel disappointments. Again, it's not easy and it's tiresome to do what's right in a planet like Earth. But those are consequences of the blessed battle for the supreme victory of righteousness. So Emmanuel is telling him last here that, hey, this is normal. Don't think that you're being singled out. This is how it is because there's a blessed battle for the supreme victory of righteousness. There's a blessed battle for to do what's right. Again, and that's interesting because a lot of times we see this battle as an external happening, but it is actually inside of us. The toughest battle in being righteous is inside of us. Again, to do all the conflicts and exhaustions and disappointments and discouragement that we feel just by trying to do what's right in a planet like Earth. And the provisional triumph of evil. So combat is conduces the combatants to tributes of afflictions and sufferings. So evil, and that's a very important point because we see a lot of evil, quote unquote, triumph here on Earth, but that triumph is temporary. There's the law of cause and effect. So whatever wrongdoings anyone does, it does come back to the individual. So again, if somebody is believing that he or she is triumphing by doing what's wrong, he or she is incorrect because those bring afflictions and sufferings down the road, not necessarily in the present life, but most likely in future lives. So Emmanuel reminds us that we should to let us utilize our best possibilities in service of Jesus Christ by pledging our lives to Him. So this is very interesting. So utilize our best possibilities. All of us here, we are not perfect. We do not have the best circumstances to do what's right. We're not in the best position for most of us are in that position to do charity, but it's still, we have the, we should, whatever we can offer is the best we can offer. And that should be in service for Christ. And for doing so, the way we serve Christ is by following his teachings and doing what's right. And doing what's right. So again, we pledge our lives, so we pledge our actions to do the right things. Emmanuel finalizes here indicating that the criminal weapon that breaks and the repugnant measures utilized always provoke curse and darkness. But for the exhausted worker in his duty and for the lamp that is extinguished in the illuminated service, a different destiny is reserved. So we see here that again, doing what's right, doing what's wrong causes destruction, and it causes destruction, causes torments um, to create chaos. But the problem is that due to that, they bring, and Emmanuel uses some strong words here, curse and darkness. So there is a consequence. Whatever we do wrong comes back to us in this as darkness, as suffering in the long run. But here he reminds us that if we are exhausted in the worker of our duty, again, in our duty to follow Christ, to do our service to Christ. So it's kind of different. It's like a lamp that is extinguished in illuminated service. So the lamp that is extinguished in illuminated service, it is working all the time until the end, but it's making a difference. It's providing light all around it. So I like this analogy here because we have this chance to slowly, and again, then within our possibilities to enlighten others, to assist others as well. And then he reminds us that a different destiny is reserved. So meaning that it's something different than curse and darkness. Again, law of cause and effect. Whatever we do right um, on the earth, we have an opportunity um, that's going to come back to us, and it's going to be beneficial. It's going to be constructive, and it's the opposite of again, the strong word here, curse and darkness. So that's our conversation for today. I hope you like it. And again, if you like presentations such as this one with Cardiac Radio, so remember to click either the subscribe or the follow link, and also the little bell button to subscribe and to get notifications about similar content in the future. Again, I'd like to thank Cardiac Radio to open up its platforms so that we can do presentations and have conversations just like this one. So it's now time for our final prayer. Let's close our eyes and be so thankful for all the opportunities that life presents to us, for us to put in practice what we've learned, for us to be active collaborators in the service of Jesus, in the betterment of the universe. We have our free will. We can choose to do what's wrong, or we can follow the path of righteousness. In the end, it's up to us to make the right choices. However, the right choices, they bring blessings to us, they bring peace of mind, and they bring happiness in the long run. May God's love inspire us and strengthen us always. So be it.